Broadcasting from Hollywood, California, it's Grant's Rants, Hollywood Talk.
On the panel, we review RHOBH's PK and Dorit's legal timeline. Kenya Moore returns to Atlanta, and Lil Kim freezes out the media with her ego. Later, my 90-day fiancé highlights, and is the blast the new TMZ? That and more starting now. Ranting begin. It's episode 130, and I'm sitting across from a panel of lovely ladies. To celebrate episode 130, there are a lot of opinions packed into this episode, so get ready because we're covering probably more topics than ever here on Grant's Rants. Let's get started. To my left, Jen Leone is here. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Rants.
Thank you for having me.
You're a favorite on the panel. I think you've done a lot of these, and you always come with a lot to say, so this is very fitting.
Oh, I have a lot to say.
You texted me you were doing some research?
I was doing a lot of research.
Oh, wow. Get ready. Good things to come.
I'm ready.
And we are celebrating episode 130, but from episode 1 and more, Christy Olson's here.
Yay! One of my biggest claims to fame.
I know. I always have to shout that out with episode 1. But we've been friends now for so long, and we're still doing the rants. We're still here.
Talk so much Housewives.
Yeah,
we still want to do it.
And we still want to do it. And another close friend now of the Housewives and mine, Jessie Zahner's on the podcast. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm like the biggest fan. So,
oh my God. I love that you enjoy the rants so much.
I do.
And you message me and you think you bother me, but no, I love feedback.
I do bother him all of the time. Seriously.
But I love it. I mean, it's me yelling at my TV screen like an old man. And then,
it's amazing.
So it's not like I'm like out here, on the stock market. I mean, it's like all ridiculous. So
I love it. Thanks for having me. Yes.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure. So let's get into it. We've got a bunch of Housewives news, a real variety here. It's always a mixed bag of things. First thing is some good news for once, in my opinion, in the Housewives world. Kenya Moore is returning to the Real Housewives of Atlanta with an announcement on Instagram holding a peach. Jessie, what do you think of this?
I'm so excited because I'm a huge fan of Atlanta Housewives, but I was actually doing a podcast about Atlanta Housewives and I hated Kenya at the time. I could not stand her. And after hearing what other people were thinking, and then when she left the show, now I have a new appreciation for Kenya and I need her back in my life. So I'm super excited about it.
I love the way she did it. At Instagram in front of the green screen, holding the peach.
Oh, totally.
Full-time status, bitch.
Yes, of course.
I love it.
Did she just refuse to go away, as some of them do?
Yeah, I mean, she didn't
clawed her way back on.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
but
for her.
She gave a lot. She started in 2012. I didn't realize she was on the show for that long. Then she was full friend of, which is I can't even don't get me started on the friend of status.
Right.
It's they have to earn their way after being on the show from 2012, and now she's full time again. So I'm happy for her because I like her because she stirs the pot. I get why people don't like her, but I enjoy her. What do you ladies think? Have an opinion?
I saw on Twitter, I'm not a Housewives of Atlanta watcher, but I did see the Instagram post. She's like, I was hungry, so I snagged a peach,
Yeah.
That was adorable.
Yeah.
Even someone who doesn't watch that show, I know that she's the one when I read headlines about it, that she's the one who is making all the drama happen.
Yeah.
I don't even have to watch it to know that
Yeah.
that show needs her.
And I love that she pisses off Nene. Another one, Christy and I have talked about her for a long time. Gretchen Rossi. Oh. a true OC classic. She now has a baby. She's from the Real Housewives of Orange County, of course, for those who don't know, with housewife slut Slade Smiley.
Oh my God.
And,
we went there.
Yeah, they had a baby July 10th. The daughter's name is Skylar Gray Smiley, which I think is kind of nice.
Yeah. It's a nod to Slade's son, Grayson,
Right.
the one who has been battling cancer for many years.
Yeah, I like that name, Grayson. Mm-hmm. And it's a nice thing.
Also, it seems like she was pregnant for 2 years. So
Yeah,
it's
it really
a long
does.
time to think about the name.
Did you see the pregnancy photos she had? They were beautiful.
I mean, how could we miss them?
Yeah, I know. How many shits did she go on to have those?
She had to do it one for every product she was hawking.
Oh, that's true.
Are you even pregnant or an influencer if you don't have all the photos?
Yeah. For real. So I'm now as of now, we have not seen photos of the baby. Do we think this is going to be a sell to People magazine?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, give us some time, though. The baby still looks like probably a raisin. It's just how old, right?
Yeah, a couple hours old. It's
You have
not,
to wait.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to show your baby. I don't want to see it a few days old.
I don't know if it'll quite make People, but let's guess on what outlet will snap up these pictures.
In Touch.
Okay.
Yes,
My money is on
definitely.
In Touch.
That's a good one.
That's a
Not
good
People?
one.
No.
Not a People? Okay.
Because you know she wants the cover. And
Yes.
people might give her like a half-page spread, but she wants to be in the aisle at the grocery store, everybody gawking at her and her baby
Yep,
that
yep.
she's been talking
You're
about for 10
exactly
years.
right.
Yeah, it's for real. This is like a life accomplishment for her in more ways than one because we've been hearing about her getting married to Slade, having this baby for the whole time we've known her.
Right.
How old is she, do you think?
She like 36, maybe.
Is she?
sure.
I thought she was older. Yeah, I think she was older.
Maybe?
Hey Siri, how old is Gretchen Rossi?
I can't get the answer to that on home.
For all of those listening, Grant just flicked her off. Hey,
I think there's room for her on Orange County. What do you think?
Oh, I 100% think there was. I was so sad when she left Orange County, but I think it's time to bring her back. She's amazing.
Well, remember that the reason why they were really taken off is because their storyline had gotten so inauthentic.
Yeah.
And I think people still see that from her, especially online with the baby showers and all the sponsors and all that. So if she would come back around, which I would love to see too, because I think there's a genuine Gretchen in there who we got to see on the show. If she promises to like be a good girl and only create real drama, not faux drama, I would be so down.
Yeah. That whole fight with her and Tamara, the naked waist, that put
yes.
put these feuds on the map.
Right.
I mean, that was like, she was one of the true originals, so she's still out there. Now I feel like her life has progressed, though, because we left her when she had this, like, maybe not so real engagement where she proposed to Slade in downtown LA, and
Oh my
Helicopter.
gosh.
oh my gosh, she
nothing's
proposed to
happened
him?
since. Nothing's happened since.
Wait,
So
wait,
now they're
wait.
married and they have a baby, so now we can pick up where we left off, because nothing's happened.
Are they married?
They did get married, yeah. At the baby shower, I believe. It was some, like, weird, like, it wasn't a conventional thing.
Where she dragged him down the aisle.
It's probably not a legal thing because he still has nothing's changed as far as his financial issues.
Well, she's okay with it, clearly.
Yeah.
Did she buy him a ring?
Probably.
I think that
maybe
was part of the whole
Did
thing.
production buy him the ring? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's sponsored.
Yeah.
We goof on her, but you know what? I'm sure she is going to be a great mom, and this is something they've wanted for a long time. And,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I'm happy for her. She finally gets to move on with the next step of her life.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been hearing about it. But
Right.
Yeah, it does seem like she was pregnant forever. But, we talk about financial issues. Let's change over to billionaire entrepreneur PK Kemsley.
Wait, does he claim to be a billionaire with a B?
Well, I know you're a little behind on Housewives, but didn't they say on the show that Dorit said to Camille that he had $1 billion company, right?
Oh,
Wow.
I think she may have said that,
Yeah.
With how many drinks in her? God, you wish, Dorit.
Yeah, $1 billion company. I mean, I guess. So
Where's that rose-colored Bentley that she had?
no one's seen that in a couple
It's
of
in the
years.
garage of the house that they've been trying to sell for 2 years.
Yeah.
But that house is not theirs. That house is
that's
rented.
right. That's
I keep telling everybody that.
But she's still
I'm
talking
the
about
only
trying to
one-
get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm the only
Yeah.
one saying that. I'm the only one. I've said this so many times. I'm not buying it, PK. The house of a million stairs.
Yeah.
I talked to my grandmother about it recently, and she said, that is the most ugly house. It has no character. That house is so homely. I would never want to live in that house. So nobody likes it. But I got to credit Us Weekly. Us Weekly did the work. They put together a timeline of legal events around PK and Dorit's finances. Now, recently it was announced there was some freezing of an account. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But let's go down the road that brought us to this alleged freezing. And we're going to start with Jen reading perhaps where it all began.
This sounds poetic. In August 2018, Dorit made headlines when a video surfaced online of someone confronting her over money she allegedly owed her former Beverly Beach partner, Ryan Horn. Why don't you pay back Ryan Horn the money you owe him? A woman yelled at Dorit during a cash trip to the Bahamas. You cheap bitch.
Where was that on the show? Okay.
That was a great episode. When they skipped over that. Horn sued Dorit and PK, claiming that was never paid back the $205,000 he fronted her new swimsuit line. Dorit countersued Horn, referring him merely as a vendor for the fashion brand. In January 2019, a judge ordered Dorit and Horn to mediation, warning the pair that the case will go to trial in January 2020 if they do not figure out an agreement.
So that means there's something there.
Yeah, there's something going on here. You know, we see that little runway show last season.
Don't forget the window display.
window
at
kissing.
Kissing.
Yeah.
Is that a
which
thing?
would be a huge deal if it was 2010.
Right, I know. If they only panned Robertson Boulevard to see all the For Elise signs, they know that it's a ghost town.
And
Just saying.
Kitson was sold, so it's not
Yeah.
even around anymore. So
Yeah, it's just like they have one special store left, right?
Yeah, they do have one store.
Yeah. Like
And
posterity
that's
purposes.
the store.
But the Beverly
I
Beach,
suppose.
let's talk about the actual line, is pretty run of the mill.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
is it even possible that it can be making money? Like, I don't see anyone rocking it on Insta.
No.
nobody.
I've heard they're expensive, like $70 for men's short shorts to go swimming. I mean, I guess it'd be fun to say you had it at a party, but once the joke's over, who cares?
I mean, now that Fashion Nova is around, people are only doing the $10 suits.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing Beverly
And that
Beach.
is what her stuff looks like. It
Yeah.
looks like the fast fashion stuff that we can get for $10 online.
I'm not going to run out to buy the Andy. I'm using air quotes. There's going to be
Yeah.
a new suit called the Andy. I'm okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know what that looks
She
like.
was
What?
just trying to drum up that Adrian Malouf hoof. Remember when Adrian
Yes.
named shoes after everybody and it was a huge drama? I think Dorit's just trying to copy that
Yeah.
storyline.
All right. What happened next in the timeline?
Well, in February 2019, this is according to The Blast, PK was accused of owing $75,000 in gambling debt to a sports betting company in the United Kingdom. 2 months later, the couple received good news. A judge dismissed the lawsuit against PK. I read this a couple days ago, and I remember thinking, but why? There are no details as to why this lawsuit was dismissed. So was it just an erroneous lawsuit in the first place? Was he able to pay them back? Was he able to borrow money from somebody else to pay them back? Like, what happened
Right,
here?
right.
Is he just that rich and he was
How
able
the
to
hell
pay
can
them?
you
He
keep
just
borrowing
didn't know
money
he
from
owed them?
people?
Like,
Right.
what happened?
I can't get someone to pick me up at the airport. I don't know how people are lending. I'm serious. I don't know how people are able to
Seriously.
lend this man who has a terrible track record alone. He filed for bankruptcy in 2009. So, I mean, why would you keep feeding this man money? I don't get it. But yeah, that's an interesting question. Why?
But is that what happens among the wealthy? Like that they all
borrowing
kind of
and
have
stealing?
a silent agreement to help each other keep up with
I can't relate to that.
their own Joneses.
I will say I befriended a very young, sweet billionaire, and he is the son of someone that's very, very famous. And he was kept in private and all these things. And he was expecting that we just pay his way for certain things on vacation and pay his way for,
Not the other way around.
Not that we were ever expecting that, but
Right.
it was just like, oh, I forgot my card. Hey, let's go to the store, spend $500. Oh, you have this? Like, no, I
that's
don't.
interesting.
So it's very
Yeah.
much, this is what it reminded me of. It's like, oh, I got you. Oh, I need a little this. Okay, I got you. But that probably is adding up over time.
Oh, yeah. I'll catch up with you.
And now that
Yeah.
Lisa Vanderpump, he was really hanging on to Lisa.
Yeah.
Right.
And I always said, I think it's because someone owes someone money, someone helped someone out. There was something going on there.
Yeah. All right. What's the next one happening?
Okay, so Dorit and PK were under fire again in May 2019 after a man named Nico Kurzis, I hope I'm saying that right, Kierzist, alleged that he loaned the music manager $1.2 million 8 years prior.
Nice.
According to the paperwork, PK allegedly had only paid Kurzis $250,000, which covered the interest accumulated over the years, leaving the balance of $1,235,573.66. The pair were both later ordered by a judge for an examination of finances amid Kurzis' lawsuit against PK.
66 cents. I think
Yeah.
that's funny.
You got to get the 66
Yeah.
cents. He needs all of it.
But
yeah.
I mean, $1 million wouldn't last them 8 years the way they're living.
Right.
Some of the
It's got
outfits.
to be a drop in the bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the outfits that Dorit wears, I wonder if she borrows or what she does. But, I
Right.
mean, some tops are $2,000. Some bottoms are
Yeah.
$3,000.
And the glam squad.
Oh,
Wasn't she
yeah.
just
Army of
wearing like
assistants.
like a dress for like $6,000, and then she has like the Chanel earrings that are like
Sure,
on her little confessional and
you can
everything
borrow,
else.
but no, that's bought. It's so
Right.
crazy to me.
But you know what I think is an indicator that maybe they aren't doing as well as they think is that Dorit really loves to flash the
That's a
designer
really good
logos.
point.
She wants everyone to know she's wearing Chanel. She was wearing a Balenciaga top the other day that said Balenciaga straight across the front. The back was like spring, summer 2018. Like that was like the free shirt that got thrown to like the model's friends as you were walking out the door at the fashion show. It was not some Balenciaga top, you know? And like if you think that's cute and you want everyone to know that you are wearing these designer brands, that makes me think you don't have it like that.
That's a good
right?
point. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have anything that has a logo on it.
Oh,
I don't have any money.
Well, I think a lot of the logos, and I can't speak for like women in purses and things like that, but like I remember back in the early 2000s, it was always about having the big Ed Hardy labels
but those
and
were
the
such
Gucci and the
good days.
Coach, you know,
so
the
were.
Costa
Yes.
across everyone's shirt. And
R.I.P..
but now, like, now it's a lot more like conservative.
Right.
So, like, I mean, the only reason she would have to wear those labels is to show off.
Yeah. She's compensating.
I have my theories on fashion, but we can move forward.
Yeah, I mean, this is my opinion, my point of view.
And was
But-
this the friend that Camille was talking about? or are
Well,
we getting
we
to
don't
that?
know. We're going to get to that next. So, Camille questioned her co-star's finances during the June 2019 episode of RHOBH. She said, "I didn't know where you were getting all this money from," Camille said to Dorit on the series. Camille also alleged that PK owed, quote, "a lot of money," unquote, to someone, quote, "very close," unquote, to her. Dorit fired back after the episode. "PK's affairs and whoever's coming out trying to say he owes him money, that is from another lifetime ago. It's way before me. It's way before this bankruptcy. It's when I was a girl." I mean, that's all she was saying is when I was a girl. Oh, I added that. And the designer said on Bravo's after show. She's in the after show. So, you know, we keep shoveling all this debt in the past. I mean, it doesn't sound like it if they're going in front of a judge in 2019.
It's
Right.
the present, very much in the present.
Right.
They've always been broke.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
All right, what happened next?
PK, for his part, sent a message to Camille via Instagram about his employment. After the episode aired, he shared a post that read, "In answer to multiple questions about what I do." PK captioned the message, "This is what I do. I create. I take risks.
Oh my
I live my passion. I am an entrepreneur."
Oh, I can smell the Lay's chips from here.
Crunch, crunch. On the series, fans see PK, who owns Nixie Entertainment Agency, work as Boy George's manager, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we
that's
know.
about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we know.
I mean, I didn't know Boy George was making that much money that he could support their lifestyle. That's so lavish.
And
Right.
is that the $1 billion company that he runs?
and you can throw that word around pretty, like not George Michael, Boy George.
Yeah. I know. See, he's so old.
His entire music catalog may be worth $1 billion. Like there may be some roundabout way that PK is able to say my $1 billion
Maybe an
business.
asset.
point,
But
yeah.
this is
Rounding
such a
up.
transparent
Yeah.
statement. Like again, this is like Dorit wearing the Chanel earrings. Why do you have to make this sort of mysterious? I'm an entrepreneur. I create
Yeah.
things. Like if that were true and that was all there was to it, like you wouldn't be saying that. You
Right.
wouldn't be
Right.
admitting it. Like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is just more. This just makes it worse.
Yeah.
Again, it's like reminds me of Jim Bellino at OC. Like he was another entrepreneur. But do you work? I don't see. It's like
No.
Vicky said. I don't see anybody working.
Yeah.
Isn't Taylor Armstrong's husband also,
Also an entrepreneur. Yeah.
Not to bring it dark, but I mean,
I mean, you don't
right.
get much shadier than that.
I know.
All right, Christy. What's the last piece to this puzzle?
All right, we're getting in our time machine, fast forward into current day. According to court documents obtained by Us Weekly, Dorit and PK had their bank account frozen in July 2019. Per the paperwork, Dorit attempted to prevent the court from seizing the nearly $30,000 in a City National Bank account that she had, arguing that that was her separate money. The duo's account was ordered to remain untouched, no dice, Doris, until their September 6th, 2019 court date. Okay, so this says their accounts are frozen from now until September 6th.
How do you survive though?
I
Like,
think she wasn't on
Put your
any
hand out
trips.
again. I guess.
yeah. Because like, do you carry cash? Like, I have no cash, so if my bank account got frozen, I'm screwed. Like,
Is this
I have
where
no-
he convinces people though? Is
Yeah,
this like the,
he has
I got
to.
it. I have millions. I have
Right.
it here and there. I have
Yeah.
$1 billion business, but my accounts are frozen from this legal thing, and so that's why I need you to front me the other million. And
Yeah.
Is this how it's happening?
What a thought.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know. It's likely.
Yeah.
Did you see the Instagram post that he put out there, though, of a girl at a Bank of America ATM dressed in the Frozen costume, saying when your bank account, he's like something to the lines of when your bank accounts are allegedly frozen, rushing to the bank or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So he like mocked it on his
my God.
Instagram.
That's British humor.
And
Yeah,
he's trying
exactly.
to imply that it's not true, which these are court
I wonder if the
documents.
judge did a double tap when they saw that post.
Double tap. I think that they've always had money issues. I've always said that.
That was
but
the first thing we read about them when it was announced that they were going to be
it's
on the show.
about time this comes out,
Right.
comes to light a little bit.
I mean, I think that the whole reason they even moved here was because of financial issues. I mean, I haven't really looked into that much because I just already know. I looked up enough. You can tell. $30,000. It's funny that it's a number like that too, and that they're really hanging on to $30,000 when they have a
Right?
$1 billion company.
Yeah.
Like that, 30,000 is what Kylie Jenner I think has in lip gloss in her purse. You know, it's
Right,
like
yeah.
what? Like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Especially for a billionaire.
Yeah. Again, everything's alleged as far as we know, and what we reported comes from Us Weekly, so don't come for me.
Well, you love Camille. Did you love Camille coming for her?
I'm a little off on Camille these days because I hate the whole
too
cast
much,
right now.
right?
But no, I mean, at least Camille did something. At least there was a scene with content in it at one point in the season, so I'll give her that. And you know, she played an important role in the season because no one else did anything else. Speaking of someone else who has financial problems and doesn't want them talked about, Lil Kim. I want to talk about this very briefly, but she has a new show. I'm definitely going to try to take a look at it because I love Little Kim.
Yeah.
It's called Girls Cruise on VH1. She's canceled all of her promotional appearances. So who else is on the show?
So it's her, it's Chili from TLC,
Yeah.
and Maya, who
Yeah.
we love. And then it
Yes.
seems like kind of a group of girlfriends, no one really notable,
Right.
but some fun ladies.
I know Maya. I know the other one, but to me, like Lil Kim is like the biggest name.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
on the show. So, and I look at in all the promo, she's in this like big like captain's outfit. I think she looks so good. I love Kim, but so she's canceled these appearances abruptly. And insiders said that it was because there were a lot of restrictions that her team put on these outlets, and so they just said, "Forget it, we're not going to bother." And I was like, "Well, what could it be?" And at first, I thought it was all the plastic surgery, but she's been out and doing press like long after she got all the work done. And then I realized it's because it's her finances. She recently filed for bankruptcy. She allegedly owes $4 million to creditors. And there's a lot going on. What do you guys think?
Wow.
Well, when you owe that much money, cutting off the promotion for your current show, probably not a great idea.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
a good
you
point.
need that,
Yeah.
don't you? You need that second season.
I understand her mindset of the whole diva. I'm the original diva. I'm this. But, you know, ego is something that needs to go on the back burner when you're in a situation like this. I get her trying to have an image, but she needs to come to some kind of agreement or hire a new publicist that can work something out with
Yes.
the interviewer because something needs to happen. It's not like, well, you're not going to do this. All right. Well,
Right.
then we're out.
Yeah.
It has to be something very, very big for that to happen.
And now she's damaged her relationship with Viacom and VH1 because she's the biggest name on the show in my point of view. And Wendy Williams said the same thing. So if she's not promoting it, who's going to watch it? What do you think,
Right.
Jessie?
No, I think the same thing. I think she needs to hire like somebody who can help her with like facing
crisis management.
Yeah, I mean, because if she is in debt, she does need to promote this, and she is the biggest name on the show, so she should be out in public and talking about this. So, I mean, it's just really
Why
tough.
can't she just go on a show and just say, you know, it's a legal issue. I'm not
Yes.
allowed to talk about it. But
Right.
you know,
Lifeline.
Yeah, Dorit. That's what Dorit's saying, right? She can talk
and
about
Erica.
It.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Like,
it's
but then
awesome.
you can
Right.
she's pissing a lot of people off. And then there's all this back and forth, whether it's with Watch What Happens Live as one of those outlets that Andy says that, you know, that he can't wait to have her on. So I don't know what the outlets are that are doing this. They named a few.
I know
Who
it's Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood. But if you're doing Access Hollywood, it's NBC. I understand there's certain things that
They're
you
all
can't
under the
say.
same umbrella.
Right. There's certain things you could say but they just shut it all down. I kind of have a theory too. She's trying to do like the Beyonce route where it's, I don't do press. You know, I'm above it and watch my show anyway because there's a mystery. You know, like
Yeah.
there's that. I just think that someone needs to do something.
And this this is just drawing
think
more
it is
attention
ego.
to the financial problems. Like you said, you didn't even really know that she had filed for bankruptcy until you're trying to do digging into what is she talking about.
I remember her house was in and out of foreclosure.
Yeah.
I remember that.
We knew
that
she's
was,
had financial issues.
That was about it.
Yeah.
And I know she has like a little daughter, and it was be sad if they lost their home. I mean, that's about all that I know. But yeah, now she's really shined a light on her problems, and it made me dig, and we're talking about it here on this podcast. And, I love Lil Kim, but she's put out a lot of singles and music over like the last like 5 or 6 years, and none of them have really popped. So I know, you've got the ego and your legend status, and you are the moment, as she says, but like, you're not in the position where you can't do the work.
Right.
You've got to do the work because there's a lot of noise out there. Come on now.
Also, it looked like the kind of show where the first show I've seen, like all female reality show on VH1, where the trailer wasn't them all brawling.
True.
Like this seems like it's going to be a positive, fun thing where I think they're like exploring different places and we're going to learn something.
Right.
Maybe like it's going to be a fun girls trip, not a beat down in the alley.
I love that.
Well, Girls Cruise
Once in
will
a
be
while.
on VH1 Monday night. So if you're interested in checking it out, let me know because I'm still looking for a show. So for the summer. So we'll get into that in a moment. But in the meantime, we're going to take a quick break. I want to send a quick reminder. I never mentioned this, but if you wouldn't mind just rating the show on iTunes specifically, there have been a few trolls out there, and they've, we have a form.
You have haters?
I know, finally. Oh, you're doing so excited. I live for that. But so it's down to like a 4.5, and you know what? This show is damn good. I'm just going to say it. So please, if you haven't already, and if you can, would love for you to rate the show because I'm here to give you all of me, and I'm so thankful for every single person that turns on this show when it pops up on your phone. So amen to that. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back in a moment. Now this.
You're listening to Grant's Rants. Subscribe and spread the word. There are a lot more rants to come. Listen anytime on all major podcasting platforms. And now, back to the show.
And we're back on the Rants with Jessie, Christy, and Jen, here to talk about the next topic. Something I don't talk much about on this show, but I've been trying to find the right crowd, and they're here. 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about this show. Now, do we all watch it? Or
Yes.
are you
I
watching
do not
it?
watch.
Okay, well,
I
we're going to
don't.
fill you in, and then we want your
Yes.
organic reaction.
Love it.
And it's getting to be one of those that are big enough that it's in headlines all the time. Do you feel like you're starting to hear about it
yes,
enough that
I
you know?
am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
It's, it's like the Kardashians.
Yeah.
that way.
No. It's
Yeah, it's like everyone's slowly been discovering it over the last year.
Can I just say I'm not surprised? I mean, 90 Day Fiancés tell me, there can't be a red flag anywhere. I mean, let's be real here.
Are you anticipating drama on this show?
I think I am.
You may be right.
So for those who don't know, it's about the K1 visa. There's 90 Day the other way, upside down, happily ever after. We don't know where anyone's coming from, but it's all combination of couples. They have yet to add a gay couple to this show, which is like it's
that's a
only
good
a matter of
point.
time.
Yeah.
What is it on Lifetime?
TLC.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah. So that's the only thing. But there are some normal, I guess you could say, couples peppered in between. They're having babies, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's really, for me, it's a lot about like the cultural differences of people who grew up in Middle America, and then they have someone coming from Brazil or anywhere in the world, and there's a lot of clashing with that. So some of them work out. Some of them do not. And let's talk about the real hot mess ones. So let's start with Larissa dos Santos Lima.
Oh my god, my favorite.
Yeah.
Miss New Booty. She just got a Brazilian butt lift a couple days ago.
A whole new ass for this ass.
Good for her.
Christy knows a lot about this. So, Christy, you're hosting a panel or a stand-up show on AfterBuzz.
Yeah,
this,
we're
correct?
calling it 90 Day Fiancé News Now. Every day we're given like the hottest stories. That's just it. There's such a huge cast that there is news every single day. These people are making waves.
Yeah, so like what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to kind of let you hopefully fill in some of the blinks for us. Maybe you know a little bit more than what these articles are reporting that I have in front of me. So let's talk about Larissa. So she's in the middle of a criminal assault case. It may be closed. She's attended 8 domestic violence counseling classes, but the judge ruled that she has to attend 28 of these classes.
Yes, so she has. This was like one of those
Keep
checkups
going, girl,
along
keep
the
going.
way, like where you have to check in with the
Yeah.
court. She's got another one in September where they say like, okay,
Yeah.
you've been ordered to do 48 hours of community service and making sure you're on track. I remember from when Kim Richards was having these all the time. Giving the updates.
The good days.
That's just why. Yeah. So this was just basically a judge saying like, okay, you're doing great, you're on track, but now you gotta,
Yeah.
do the next round of classes and the next round of community service.
So let's describe to Jen, like, how would we describe Larissa? And for those listening who aren't familiar with the show, this is entertaining, for real. These people are animals.
Yes.
So she hooked onto this guy who lives with his mother in Las Vegas, who's also a questionable character too. I mean, he basically lied to her and said he's going to take care of her and has all this money. She arrived to is like a condo,
like a 2-story townhouse in the desert,
with like a slot machine inside and a camo recliner, and a car with no air conditioning in
and he
Vegas.
dresses up as cats. Well, can you imagine a car,
cookie dough,
a car,
and sugar cookie, or
a car in Las Vegas with no air conditioning?
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine that?
Horrible.
Are you kidding me? And so she, of course, comes in with a champagne taste, and he's not prepared for any of this. And so she's walking around their house, calling his mother, who lives in the house, the C word. I mean, like, there's a lot going on.
I'm sorry, but I'm going home and immediately watching this
You
show.
have to.
Oh, yeah.
I just realized too, and this is what I was showing Christy earlier. I send 90 Day Fiancé memes, and I didn't even know it's 90 Day Fiancé memes because they're so funny. And I thought that it's just some show. I don't know what it
it's
is.
so
and
epic.
now I'm connecting the dots that this is the show that I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually watched it.
Well, and it gets pretty serious. Like with Larissa and Colt in particular, she's been arrested more than once
Yeah, for
domestic
violence.
violence.
I'm
know
such a fan.
And they got one was just a day or two before they got married.
Yeah.
Oh my
and didn't she flush her ring down the toilet too?
Yeah.
So,
Stop it.
Yeah.
This sounds amazing. This sounds like the next Housewives.
Yeah.
Oh, it's-
like just franchise.
but see, this is what I mean though. Like, if they were, it's not like they're dealing with these like, high class couples that they couldn't put on some diverse, like a gay couple or something like that. I mean, she is so trashy on this show. I don't know, like, who they think they're going to offend because she's an animal.
But do you think she's worse than Colt and Deb? Because I cannot stand Colt.
Really?
No, I'm like so over it. I'm so over Deb. Like, oh my God, I cannot take them.
I still miss it and Fisa and George. I really
I
miss
do.
them.
I know.
Well,
and
is
she's
George
got
in, like,
much
jail?
going on.
Yeah.
George is in jail and
Yeah.
he will be for a while. But Anfisa is like winning bikini bodybuilding competitions.
Yeah.
She's going to school. Like she is everything that I think Larissa would probably want to be.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
coincidentally,
So
they met
true.
for the first time last weekend.
Oh, wow.
in Vegas.
Oh my God, that's
Oh,
amazing.
God.
This is such a beautiful story.
They're all
so
gold
amazing.
diggers. Those two are like gold diggers. So
Yeah.
even though she didn't get that, Larissa didn't get anything.
They've filed for divorce. They're in proceedings right now, and they've been very quiet about it. We don't know if she's
Yeah.
getting deported. She has a new boyfriend.
Surprise,
So,
surprise.
perhaps she can file for the 90-day
Yeah.
fiancé visa process
Is
again.
anyone
Next
ever going to
season of the show.
correct her in her speech? Because she adds
my
an
gosh.
IE to everything.
Yes.
And it drives me crazy. So how can we, like, what example can we give on this? She calls him Colty. His name is Colt.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an accent involved in this?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm a fan.
But even words that don't have a
Yes.
silent E on the end.
That's
like
what I wondered.
But,
Yes.
but,
Buddy,
I wondered
buddy,
if,
buddy.
yeah, last episode I think she said like up-B, and I was like, okay, because I wondered if it was just there was an E on the end of the words and she misunderstood like that's how you're supposed to read it.
Yeah,
But no,
no.
it's just like every.
I couldn't hang out with her and be friends with her for more than a half hour without having to correct her because that drives me nuts.
I love her.
She's
You
amazing.
would.
Yeah.
You would.
I love her.
she has a brand new line of skincare products.
Of course she does.
So then there's another one. Jay Smith. He's currently remaining in ICE custody, which is serious.
The first one ever to be locked up
Yeah.
in ICE custody.
He had turned himself in on July 3rd. And he's allegedly violated a protection of abuse, which, I mean, what is the difference between that and like a
restraining
order?
Yeah.
Because I think it's because he actually did something. There was an actionable thing. Ashley claims his estranged wife claims that he broke into her home while she was on vacation like earlier this month. So that's how she was able to get the protection order. And part of that order was that he not talk about it or her in public. And he went right to social media and posted about it on, I believe, on Twitter. It's very hard to find the screenshots, but he then went and turned himself in, and he's been in jail for over a week now.
As someone who has order of protections and restraining orders, I know the difference.
Oh, girl, tell us. Do tell.
Well, a restraining order, you need multiple counts of them attacking you and having it very, very much documented. It's a whole thing. If it's an order of protection, it can last as long, but you have to, and I only know for Illinois, I actually don't know in whatever state they're in, but it's like you have to, it's easier to get. Let's just put it
It's like
that
more
way.
for an emergency situation.
Oh, okay.
Right.
It's easier to
Okay,
get,
and this is
yeah.
Pennsylvania, so it's probably not too
Yeah,
dissimilar.
probably not. Yeah,
Right.
different.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. He's facing deportation. There's a GoFundMe involved, which is just so...
which was started by his stripper friend, Kayla.
Oh, really?
She
who
has
actually writes very eloquently and has been able to visit Jay even in jail.
Yeah.
And says with the money they raised, even though they haven't met their goal of $5,000, that he is able now to afford an attorney. So I believe they are thinking that will increase his chances of being able to stay here. He says he's scared to go home to Jamaica, that he'll be a target because of his now fame, and people will assume that he's rich now.
That's a good storyline.
So
for
he
him.
can't go back. And
Rich.
Kayla's going to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well,
They need their own spinoff.
and so what are your thoughts?
I mean, he came over here and he got with this girl in the barbershop bathroom,
Yeah.
and he was talking to a girl days after they got married. So I'm just over it. Just go home.
Right.
I'm done with this story.
Yeah, let's describe this relationship briefly.
He's 20, she's 34,
And has
33.
kids,
Yeah, she has
right?
two
She's
kids.
2 kids.
Mind you, she's been engaged multiple times, and this is the guy she decides to marry. I'm like, come on, Ashley.
And in the first episode, she said, if someone said he cheated on me, I wouldn't believe it. Didn't she say that?
But then she said
she wouldn't care.
No, that's what she said. Yes, because she said I can't control what he's doing in Jamaica, but once he's here, if he's here and he's doing things, then it's a problem. But because he's in Jamaica and he's 20 and whatever, I'm just gonna let him go. Because her friend came over on that bike and tried to confront her about on that scooter or whatever it is.
A lot of spiritual work. She needs a lot of clearing and help.
Well, now Jay's sister has come out and actually accused Ashley. She says Ashley cheated first with her sugar daddy, who she goes to see for $1,000 every single week, and that
can't.
Ashley actually used money that was raised for her lupus treatment to get a tummy tuck. There's a lot of allegations flying both ways. It gets even more serious than that
Because the show
it's
paints
getting sticky.
The show paints Ashley as the victim of this
For
relationship.
sure. Yeah.
How do they find these people?
Well, they apply for the show, and the other factor here is that only the Americans are getting paid. So in a situation like Ashley and Jay's, he can't work because he doesn't have a visa.
That's a good
She's the only one
point.
making money from the show and
Yeah.
from the sugar daddy or whoever else. And, this guy is just trying to find something to do with his time. He should have never gotten married in the first place, but he hasn't been given a great chance either.
Right.
What a loophole. Let's only pay the Americans. Wow.
So, that's what people are talking about. So if you've been kind of on the edge of watching 90 Day Fiancé, there's different versions of them, but my favorite is Happily Ever After because none of them are that happy. There's
There's
That
a
makes
reason
us
why
happy.
there's a question mark at the end of the title.
And the thing, this is my biggest thing. Nobody works. Nobody works.
Yeah.
So it's they have all these problems, and don't even get me started. There's one of them, Andre, he got this girl pregnant. Her father has bent over backwards to get him employed. He won't do it, and I'm like, that to me is the lowest form of a man. Not only are you married, you have a child, and you will not work. You're underneath my feet, dude. That's disgusting.
I agree with you.
A man that will refuse to work, get the hell out of here. Anyway, that's my rant on that. I want to get into what is on our mind. We each have something that we're thinking about and that's caught our attention. I don't even want to say caught our attention, but what's on our mind? Let's get into it. Love Island on CBS. Has anyone watched?
No.
I was in London and they were talking about that show.
Well, it's huge in the UK. the
Everyone
original.
is
Yeah.
huge is an understatement. It was
Really?
like the Spice Girls to them. It was a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. It's 5 nights a week on CBS.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's
Yeah, it's a
insane.
huge commitment.
Yeah.
I did watch the first episode. To me, it was just men choosing women from a lineup to couple up with.
Groundbreaking.
And I was like, this is too old school for me. That was weird. But also, I need for this show to cast all ratchet people, and it should be on MTV or VH1. Then I'm in. But when it's all these people, everyone's an influencer, or I'm a student. Everyone's under 24, and it's it's very subjective. They pick up people who has the best abs, who has the best haircut. And they go back and forth, and then they reshuffle the deck, and then new people come in. And I really wanted to like it. I thought this was going to be my summer show, and I just found myself being annoyed. So for me, I don't think it's my thing. Ratings-wise, though, it also is quote-unquote a disappointment for CBS. It got a 2.7 total for its opening, and then 0.6 18 to 49. And in comparison to Big Brother, 18 to 49, the demo everyone wants, is a 1.2. The Bachelor, 1.5. So again, Love Island's got a 0.6.
Yeah.
So
horrible.
it's not doing that well for them. I need like big ratchet personalities if I want to see like people clawing for their man and their girl. Like I want to see it all play out. But if this is too safe, is what I'm saying.
Like they just relied on like bikinis and bodies.
It's that. It's a lot of that.
I think it's groundbreaking for some place like the UK where they're more covered up. People dress to go to the grocery store. Here, people don't care. We have such a different view on what not only we should look like, but how we should behave and also how we behave on camera. So I don't think that the American audience is just the audience for this show.
Yeah.
Hearing from what you had to say.
I wanted to love it. I did because I'm so sick of Big Brother. I was just looking for anything. But not my thing. Maybe it'll be Girls Cruise. Who knows? Yeah. I don't
Isn't
know.
there a show already on MTV where, I mean, it's like the X
on the Beach.
X on the beach. So
Yes.
that's like, I think your version.
That's probably more what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's on your mind, Jessie?
So you know what's on my mind? Do you guys watch Southern Charm?
I don't.
Like the original version. Oh my gosh.
I hear it's great.
It is so good. So like I watch Vanderpump Rules, huge fan. And when it's off, started watching Southern Charm and I love it. It's just amazing. But there's this girl that came back on the show this last episode, drives me nuts. So this Ashley Jacobs girl from Southern Charm, I could rant about this girl all day. So she got on the show because she was dating Thomas Ravenel, who I don't know if you guys have heard about him.
We read the headline.
Yes,
Yes.
but he's this guy who's absolutely horrible. Somebody asked on Twitter a few weeks ago, like, who's the absolute worst Bravo celebrity? And I'm like, Thomas Ravenel. Like, you cannot even fight me. He's a horrible human being. And he should have never been on the show. He's just terrible. But he had this girlfriend who was actually from Santa Barbara, moved out to South Carolina. She is horrible. So now what they did this season is because they can't have Thomas on anymore, and so Ashley's not going to be on. They brought this other girl who kind of like was a friend of the show, but not really. Like would come in like one episode every season or something. Like very rare. I don't even remember her. Her name's Eliza. She's back kind of on the show now, and she has a tie to Thomas and Ashley. So she brings Ashley back for this episode to try to like make amends with the group after she called a girl on the show an egg donor and called them all
remember seeing
losers
that.
and everything else and fought with people's mothers.
Yeah.
And so she came back on the show to like apologize and just like stirred up a bunch of drama. And I'm just like, please, Ashley, get off my TV screen.
She's unwanted,
Horrible.
unneeded.
Yes.
I get
out.
that.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
Bye, Ashley.
Yeah.
All right, Christy, what's on your mind?
Well, this disturbs me so much that I almost don't even want to talk about it.
But you will.
It is I mean, I'm sure you guys may agree. The promos for a show on TLC called Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh my
Okay, you cannot watch anything. I like want to vomit even just saying that out loud. You cannot watch anything on TLC or even on any of their sister channels without seeing promos, video footage of this doctor who obviously from the title of the show, you can tell she deals with like skin issues with people, and it is so disgusting. It interrupts my mind and my show when I'm trying to like escape reality
That
and
is
watch
annoying.
90 Day Fiancé or anything else on TLC. I'm like, it makes me want to not watch the network. And I almost want to email them and be like, can't you guys see in your shows like at least a slight dip when you start airing those promos and like people don't want to see this. Like if that's the show that you want to watch and you're interested in that, and I'm sure there are great like life touching stories.
Yes.
That's fine, but like I don't want to see it. Don't make me have to look at it.
That is such a good rant.
Yeah.
Seriously, 'cause I feel the same exact way, but I
you're not
wonder,
alone.
like, who watches that show? I cannot take it.
I belong to a lot of like reality TV Facebook groups, and a lot of people are not into that show. Like the diehard reality TV people like us who watch almost anything and will give anything a try. They're not.
I
They're
cannot.
not
I figured
watching.
someone had to be
not
watching.
watching.
it,
Somebody
but
has to, because it's
they
another
must not
season.
be.
It's been like how many seasons now? Is this the second season? That's coming on?
we are. For the second time, we are being subjected to said promos.
Yeah.
I feel like that show is similar to porn. You watch something like that in your own time, not
Privately,
when it's
without admitting
shoved.
it.
A lot of people follow it. A lot of people follow Pornhub. They're great on Instagram. And Dr. Pimple Popper is very, very much all over Instagram, but I don't follow it because I don't want it.
Yeah.
You know,
I think they had an Insta story where you had to press something and then it popped.
Oh yes.
God.
I mean,
Oh my
we really don't need any of that.
What have we come to?
You know, this
right?
Instagram algorithm, by the way, that's another thing I was going to mention, is really bad.
Let's
and,
rant.
and it is full of ads. Like, I don't even know who anybody is in my feed anymore because I'm being sold to every third post.
Creepy stuff that you've looked up that you actually want, which just makes me weirded out.
Yeah.
It's too much advertising. It's officially like fading away, in my opinion, because once the ads come in and they take over, people aren't interested.
Yeah.
So, Jed, what's on your mind? What's going on?
Mine is RIP really to 2007 because now I had my hopes up last year with Ariana Grande doing everything right. Now I thought everyone would see the formula and everyone would backpack off of that and want to do it. But no, there's not any sloppy celebrity for me to watch. Lindsay Lohan is doing her best, but we need more. I need Britney to really be out there and not hidden. I need Paris Hilton to stop DJing in Mykonos and come to America.
We need someone to throw a bong out of a window.
I just really want it. And it doesn't feel like summer. I don't have a celebrity that's being sloppy on their way to get their morning frappuccino after hitting a quit night.
Well, that's because everybody's bought and sold.
flashes.
That's because everyone's bought and sold now. So all they have to do, I don't know if you watch Wendy Williams, but she's now all in with Kris Jenner, and she's like, I'm going to get all the information. No, you're going to get all the spin that they're going to give you,
right?
And they're going to say, hey, Wendy, maybe don't talk about Scott this month. Like, we're going through something. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's going to be. So everyone's bought and sold now. So you're not going to get those moments because everyone's protected, and I hate that because that's just not real life,
And, now we have The Blast, which is great. The Blast
came out of nowhere, by the way.
So it came from TMZ. Did you know this?
No.
Okay,
No,
so
tell us.
Oh yeah. So Mike Walters, who is like king, he's actually the guy behind TMZ. Went to school with Nick from the Dirty, the website The Dirty.
Oh, yeah.
So they
Gretchen
started.
Rossi was all over that website.
See, they started all of that, and then they moved into TMZ. He ran everything. He was the news director. And his sister, Liz Walters, she does everything with the legal stuff. So she had her own office in the Santa Monica courthouse, and she was just boom, 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 lawsuit. And that's how they would get all these legal things. It worked with, with what's his name, Harvey being a lawyer. And now there was a fight, and Mike Walters took basically everyone from TMZ, including past employees who were really, really great, including a guy who got me my job there and who was incredible. And they moved, and now that's what they have is The Blast. So it's
A fight between Mike and Harvey?
yeah. So now that's why they have all the legal stuff. That's why they have all the good stories and why they're coming up. I mean, there's
Interesting.
a lot that Harvey still gets because of his connections and who he is, but
Because people will just go to TMZ because it's TMZ.
right. And also he still has two of the people who are deep in the urban community, so they'll have a lot more rap stories, a lot of stuff like that. But all of the other stuff is really going to come from The Blast.
Interesting. That's some real Hollywood
Not
talk.
know that, Jen.
Interesting.
So I like that we had according to The Blast story here. I was like, look at these guys.
Yep. I mean, they've crept into this show a lot as sources according to, quotes from. The whole Britney thing is really completely come out of The Blast.
Yeah.
It's their connections. I mean, Mike has the biggest connections in, I think, just the industry, period.
Wow. Yeah, I hate using TMZ as like a source, so I was kind of excited about The Blast, but now that I know it's the usual suspects,
Same guy.
it is what it is.
Yep.
That's the Hollywood game, So, thank you guys so much for this panel. I hope you enjoyed yourselves.
I know.
I know. But we'll always be ranting online. I've been doing a lot more with stories recently because I'm just irritated. So check me out if you want over on Instagram at It's Grants Rants. And where can we find you guys?
Hey guys, I'm Jennifer Leone. You can find me on Twitter at Jennifer Leone TV or at Instagram at jleon.tv.
Nice.
You guys can always hit me up at Christy Reports with a C.
And I'm Jessie Zahner. You can find me all over social media at Athletic.
Nice. And I want to mention that there's going to be a special episode I plan to do for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Once the third part of the reunion ends, it's going to be the plot to save RHOBH. And we're going to have a panel of people to rip into this season, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what needs to happen next. So let me know your thoughts on Twitter about that, because maybe we can add some more voices to the conversation through the Twitter. I love you guys for listening, and as always, we'll be back with more rants. I've got some great shows lined up, so stick around.
This has been Grant's Rants. Support the Rants on Patreon at patreon.com/Grant's Rants. Follow Grant on Twitter and Instagram at It's Grant's Rants. Cover art created by Howie Rone. Voiceover by Aw Yeah! Original theme music by Alexander Arntzen. The Grant Michael Collection.